Why are there not more people talking about how Islam reached Indonesia? A land of vibrant cultures, breathtaking landscapes, and the world's largest Muslim population. The archipelago's history is a tapestry woven with threads of ancient empires, maritime trade routes, and the arrival of new faiths. Among these, Islam stands out, profoundly shaping Indonesia's cultural, social, and political landscape. But how did this faith, born in the deserts of Arabia, find such fertile ground in this distant archipelago? The story of Islam's arrival in Indonesia is not one of conquest or coercion. It's a tale of peaceful encounters, cultural exchange, and the gradual embrace of a faith that resonated deeply with the Indonesian soul. It's a story that challenges common narratives of religious conversion, revealing the nuanced interplay of trade, spirituality, and local agency. This journey takes us back centuries to a time when Hindu-Buddhist kingdoms flourished alongside indigenous beliefs. It delves into the bustling port cities where Muslim traders, scholars, and mystics arrived, bringing with them not only goods, but also ideas and beliefs that would forever alter the course of Indonesian history. The spread of Islam in Indonesia was intimately intertwined with the maritime silk routes that crisscrossed the Indian Ocean. For centuries, these sea lanes served as conduits of commerce, connecting the archipelago to the wider world. Arab, Persian, and Indian Muslim traders, drawn by the allure of spices, textiles, and other treasures, established trading posts along Indonesia's coasts. Unlike the conquests that marked the spread of Islam in other parts of the world, the arrival of Islam in Indonesia was remarkably peaceful. Muslim traders, recognizing the importance of building trust and fostering relationships, engaged with local communities through trade and cultural exchange. They shared their faith not through force, but through the example of their own lives, their ethics, and their interactions. These early Muslim communities, often concentrated in port cities, became centers of Islamic learning and practice. Mosques were built, and the teachings of Islam began to take root, gradually spreading from the coasts to the interior. The process was gradual, organic, and driven by the appeal of the faith itself. The story of how Islam became the majority religion in Indonesia is a testament to the power of cultural exchange, religious syncretism, and the enduring appeal of a faith that resonated with the archipelago's diverse peoples. Over centuries, Islam became deeply intertwined with Indonesian culture, shaping its art, literature, music, and daily life. Today, Indonesia stands as a beacon of moderate Islam, a country where faith plays a vital role in public life while embracing diversity and pluralism. Its unique brand of Islam, infused with local customs and traditions, offers a model for interfaith harmony and understanding. This essay delves into the captivating history of Islam in Indonesia, exploring the key factors that contributed to its spread and enduring legacy. From the arrival of Muslim traders to the emergence of Islamic kingdoms and the fusion of faith and culture, we'll trace the remarkable journey of Islam in this archipelago nation. Join us as we uncover the fascinating story of how Indonesia became Muslim. Before the arrival of Islam, the Indonesian archipelago was a vibrant tapestry of faiths and traditions. Hinduism and Buddhism, arriving from the Indian subcontinent, had taken root centuries earlier, leaving an indelible mark on the region's cultural and spiritual landscape. Grand temples, intricate sculptures, and epic tales bore witness to the influence of these ancient faiths. Yet, alongside the grandeur of organized religions, indigenous belief systems continued to thrive. Animism, with its reverence for spirits inhabiting the natural world, held sway in many communities. Ancestors were venerated, their spirits believed to guide and protect their descendants. This rich spiritual tapestry reflected the diversity of the archipelago itself, a mosaic of islands and peoples, each with its own unique cultural and spiritual expressions. The arrival of Islam did not erase these existing beliefs. Instead, it wove itself into the existing fabric, blending and adapting in a process of religious syncretism that would come to characterize Indonesian Islam. To understand the impact of Islam, we must first delve into the pre-Islamic world, exploring the beliefs and practices that shaped the spiritual landscape of the archipelago. Section 2. Empires of Spice and Spirit, Srivijaya and Majapahit. The rise of powerful Hindu-Buddhist empires further solidified the influence of these faiths in Indonesia. The Srivijaya Empire, centered in Sumatra, dominated maritime trade routes for centuries, its wealth built on the lucrative spice trade. Srivijaya's rulers embraced Mahayana Buddhism, establishing monasteries and attracting scholars from across the Buddhist world. Following Srivijaya's decline, the Majapahit Empire, centered in Java, rose to prominence. Majapahit's reach extended across much of the archipelago, its power consolidated through a combination of military might and shrewd diplomacy. While Hinduism flourished under Majapahit rule, the empire exhibited a remarkable degree of religious tolerance, accommodating Buddhism and other faiths within its realm. These empires, with their patronage of art, literature, and religious institutions, left an enduring legacy on Indonesian culture. Their grand temples and monuments, many of which still stand today, serve as tangible reminders of their former glory and the enduring influence of Hinduism and Buddhism in the archipelago. Section 3. Animism and Ancestors, the Sacred Threads of Indonesia. While Hinduism and Buddhism held sway at the upper echelons of society, animism and ancestor worship remained deeply ingrained in the lives of ordinary people. For many Indonesians, the natural world was alive with spirits, both benevolent and malevolent. Rituals and offerings appeased these spirits, ensuring harmony between humans and the supernatural realm. Ancestors, too, were revered. Their spirits were believed to remain close to the living, offering guidance and protection. Elaborate rituals honored the dead, ensuring their continued presence and blessings. This reverence for ancestors fostered a strong sense of community and continuity, connecting the living to their forefathers and the land itself. These indigenous beliefs, deeply rooted in the land and its people, provided a spiritual foundation upon which later religious influences would be layered. The arrival of Islam did not erase these beliefs. Rather, it offered new interpretations and practices that often blended seamlessly with existing traditions. Section 4. The Crossroads of Commerce, Maritime Networks, and Global Exchange. Indonesia's strategic location at the crossroads of maritime trade routes made it a hub of cultural exchange for centuries. The archipelago's rich bounty of spices, textiles, and other sought-after goods attracted traders from across the Indian Ocean, bringing with them not only goods but also ideas, religions, and cultural practices. Arab, Persian, and Indian merchants sailed the monsoon winds, establishing trading posts along Indonesia's coasts. These bustling ports became melting pots of cultures where languages mingled, goods changed hands, and ideas were exchanged. Through these maritime networks, Islam first arrived in the archipelago, carried not by conquering armies but by traders seeking fortune and adventure. These early encounters, driven by commerce and cultural exchange, laid the groundwork for the gradual spread of Islam in Indonesia. The arrival of Muslim traders marked the beginning of a new chapter in the archipelago's history, one that saw the peaceful embrace of a new faith and the transformation of Indonesian society. The story of Islam's arrival in Indonesia is intimately linked to the sea. It wasn't through conquering armies, but on the decks of merchant ships, carried by the winds of trade. Muslim traders from Arabia, Persia, Gujarat, and China navigated the Indian Ocean, drawn by spices. Establishing themselves in port cities, they planted the seeds of Islam. Indonesia's bustling port cities became crucibles of cultural and religious exchange. From Aceh to the Strait of Malacca, these maritime hubs pulsed with commerce and diverse peoples. Traders exchanged goods, ideas, languages, and beliefs. For Muslim traders, these ports were spaces for faith and commerce. Mosques near the waterfront served as gathering places for prayer and community. The spread of Islam in Indonesia was not solely a product of economic factors. It was deeply intertwined with the power of personal relationships and the appeal of Islamic values. Muslim traders, recognizing the importance of building trust and rapport, often integrated themselves into local communities, learning the languages, customs, and traditions of their new home. They married local women, raised families, and became respected members of society, their faith an integral part of their identity. The Islamic emphasis on social justice, equality, and the dignity of all people resonated with many Indonesians, particularly those who felt marginalized or oppressed within existing social structures. The message of Islam, with its emphasis on the oneness of God and the brotherhood of all believers, transcended ethnic and social divisions, offering a message of hope and unity that appealed to people from all walks of life. Through these personal interactions, through acts of kindness, charity, and social responsibility, Muslim traders demonstrated the values at the heart of their faith. Their example spoke louder than any sermon, their lives a testament to the transformative power of Islam. The seeds of faith, sown in the fertile ground of human connection, began to take root, gradually transforming the religious landscape of the archipelago. Section 4. Seeds of Conversion, Gradual Embrace and Adaptation. The conversion of Indonesians to Islam was not a sudden or dramatic event, but rather a gradual process of embrace and adaptation. Islam did not arrive as a monolithic force, demanding strict adherence to a rigid set of beliefs and practices. Instead, it was presented and received through a flexible and accommodating lens, allowing for the integration of local customs and beliefs. This process of religious syncretism, the blending of different faiths and traditions, played a significant role in the spread of Islam in Indonesia. Rather than demanding a complete break from existing beliefs, early Muslim preachers and teachers often emphasized the commonalities between Islam and indigenous practices, highlighting the shared values of monotheism, respect for ancestors, and the importance of community. This approach, sensitive to the cultural and spiritual sensitivities of local communities, proved remarkably effective. Islam did not seek to erase existing beliefs, but rather to provide a new framework for understanding the world and one's place within it. This adaptability, this willingness to meet people where they were, proved crucial in fostering the peaceful and organic growth of Islam in Indonesia. Beacons of faith in the archipelago. The first Muslim communities emerged around port cities, radiating faith and values. Mosques became centers of learning, blending Islamic and local styles. Muslims and non-Muslims lived peacefully, intertwined through trade and culture. The faith spread inland, carried by traders and preachers, flourishing in the archipelago. The Wali Songo, or Nine Saints, were pivotal in spreading Islam in Java. Revered for their piety and wisdom, they integrated Islam with Javanese traditions. Their teachings, filled with stories, poetry, and music, resonated deeply with the people. Through wisdom and charisma, they earned trust, leading to Islam's widespread embrace. Sufism's appeal in Indonesia. Sufism's focus on the heart captivated the Indonesian imagination. The Sufi path resonated with the mystical undercurrents of Indonesian spirituality. The Wali Songo used storytelling and poetry to convey spiritual truths. Sufi gatherings became spaces for spiritual exploration and communal bonding. Bridging worlds, blending Islam with local customs. The Wali Songo integrated faith into daily life, recognizing Javanese culture's richness. They encouraged connections between Islam and local heritage. Rituals were adapted, infusing them with Islamic meaning. Mosques incorporated Javanese architectural styles. This created a distinctly Indonesian expression of Islam. From the margins to the mainstream, Islam's growing influence. Through the tireless efforts of the Wali Songo, Islam spread from the coastal regions into the heartland of Java. The faith's message of equality and social justice resonated with all walks of life. As more Javanese embraced Islam, it influenced all aspects of society. The conversion of key rulers solidified Islam's position within Javanese society. Onward, the crescent sails, the rise of Islamic kingdoms. The 13th century marked a turning point in Indonesian history. Islam began its ascent with the establishment of the first Islamic kingdoms. Samudera Pasai emerged as the first independent Islamic kingdom in Indonesia. On Java, the Demak Sultanate rose, challenging the Majapahit Empire. Their rise marked a new era, with Islam shaping the destiny of the archipelago. Samudera Pasai, a beacon of faith on Sumatra's shore. Strategically positioned on the northern tip of Sumatra, Samudera Pasai emerged as the first independent Islamic kingdom in Indonesia. Founded in 1267 by Mara Silu, who converted to Islam and became Sultan Malik al-Saleh, it attracted traders, scholars, and pilgrims from across the Indian Ocean. Its embrace of Islam had profound implications for the entire archipelago. Mara Silu's conversion marked a pivotal moment, signaling the arrival of Islam as a force shaping the destiny of kingdoms. Under Sultan Malik al-Saleh's rule, Samudera Pasai flourished, its wealth derived from the spice trade and Islamic principles. The Sultan commissioned mosques and centers of learning, transforming it into a hub of Islamic scholarship. The rise of Demak, Java, embraces the crescent moon. While Samudera Pasai shone as a beacon of Islam in Sumatra, Java witnessed the rise of the Demak Sultanate. Founded by Raden Patah, Demak emerged as a formidable force, challenging Hindu-Buddhist rule. Demak's rise was linked to its strategic location and economic prowess. Controlling vital trade routes and agricultural lands, Demak thrived on the rice and spice trade. Raden Patah recognized the growing appeal of Islam among the Javanese. Demak expanded through military conquests, alliances, and the propagation of Islam. Demak's embrace of Islam was sincere, reflected in its patronage of Islamic institutions and mosques. Section 4. Aceh, where faith and scholarship converged. In the 16th century, the Aceh Sultanate emerged on Sumatra's northwestern tip. Strategically positioned at the Strait of Malacca, Aceh controlled a vital choke point for trade. Under Sultan Ali Mughayat Siah, Aceh expanded and challenged European powers. Aceh's rise was fueled by military might, economic prosperity, and a commitment to Islam. Its sultans fostered an intellectual climate, attracting scholars, poets, and theologians. Aceh became a center for Islamic learning, producing generations of scholars. Wealth from the pepper trade funded mosques, libraries, and charitable institutions. Section 5. From city-states to sultanates, the consolidation of Islamic power. The rise of Islamic kingdoms in Indonesia was complex, shaped by local dynamics and regional rivalries. Local rulers embraced Islam, leading to peaceful transformations and military conquests. These polities faced the challenge of governing diverse populations. Islam provided a framework for legitimizing rule and fostering cohesion. Islamic institutions played a vital role in educating the populace and shaping society. The legacy of these early Islamic kingdoms is seen today in Indonesia's vibrant traditions and cultural heritage. Section 1. The Tapestry of Faith, weaving Islam into Indonesian life. The arrival and flourishing of Islam in the Indonesian archipelago was not a story of eradication, but one of assimilation. Instead of replacing existing customs and traditions, Islam wove itself into the very fabric of Indonesian life, adapting and enriching local practices. This harmonious fusion of faith and culture created a distinct form of Indonesian Islam, one deeply intertwined with the archipelago's unique heritage. The process of cultural blending, known as syncretism, was fundamental to Islam's peaceful integration. Rather than demanding a complete break from the past, early Muslim preachers and scholars skillfully highlighted the common ground between Islamic values and existing Indonesian beliefs. This approach fostered a sense of familiarity and continuity, allowing Indonesians to embrace Islam without abandoning their cultural roots. The Javanese concept of gotong royong, for instance, which emphasizes communal cooperation and mutual assistance, found resonance with Islam's emphasis on social solidarity and helping those in need. Similarly, the reverence for ancestors, deeply rooted in Indonesian spirituality, was reinterpreted through an Islamic lens, with prayers and offerings directed towards seeking blessings for both the living and the departed. This syncretic approach ensured that Islam was not perceived as a foreign imposition, but rather as a complementary force that enriched existing beliefs and practices. Section 2. Wayang Kulit, when shadows embrace Islam's light. Perhaps the most captivating example of this cultural fusion is the traditional Javanese shadow puppet theater. A cherished art form dating back centuries, performances were originally based on Hindu epics like the Ramayana and Mahabharata. With the arrival of Islam, however, these ancient tales were skillfully adapted to incorporate Islamic themes and characters. The master puppeteer who narrates the story, manipulates intricately carved leather puppets, casting flickering shadows on a backlit screen. These shadows, imbued with life by these skillful movements and accompanied by the haunting melodies of the orchestra, transport the audience to a realm where myth and reality intertwine. With the integration of Islamic elements, they became a powerful tool for transmitting Islamic teachings and values. Stories from Islamic literature, such as the tales of Amir Hamza and the 1001 Nights, found their way into the repertoire, captivating audiences with their adventures, moral dilemmas, and spiritual lessons. The characters of the Hindu epics were often reinterpreted through an Islamic lens, their actions and motivations aligned with Islamic values. The once a celebration of Hindu mythology evolved into a powerful medium for expressing Islamic beliefs, showcasing the dynamism and adaptability of Indonesian Islam. Section 3. Beyond Ritual. Islam's permeation of daily life. The influence of Islam extended far beyond the grand narratives of epics and the formal setting of mosques. It permeated the everyday lives of Indonesians, shaping their language, their social interactions, and their understanding of the world around them. Arabic, the language of the Quran, began to leave its mark on the Indonesian lexicon, enriching the vocabulary with new words and concepts. Greetings like, "Peace be upon you," and "upon you be peace," became commonplace, replacing traditional greetings. Phrases like "God willing" and "Praise be to God" found their way into everyday conversations, reflecting the growing awareness of God's presence in daily life. The adoption of Arabic loanwords was not merely a linguistic phenomenon. It reflected the subtle but profound ways in which Islamic concepts and values were becoming embedded in the Indonesian consciousness. The Arabic script itself underwent a fascinating transformation, adapting to the phonetic nuances of the Indonesian language. Known as script, this modified form of Arabic became widely used for writing Malay, the lingua franca of the archipelago, as well as other regional languages. Islamic teachings, once primarily transmitted orally, could now be recorded and disseminated in written form, further solidifying Islam's presence and influence. Section 4. Architectural expressions, mosques as cultural fusion. The rise of Islam transformed Indonesia's architectural landscape. Mosques evolved from modest wooden structures to grand expressions of faith. They blended Islamic principles with local styles, creating unique designs. In Java, layered roofs reminiscent of Hindu temples were adapted for mosques. Intricate wood carvings adorned mosque doors, windows, and pulpits. Local materials like teak wood and volcanic stone emphasized the connection to the landscape. This fusion reflected the cultural blending of Islam in Indonesia. The Dutch arrival and the shifting sands of power. In the 17th century, the Dutch East India Company arrived, casting long shadows over the spice-laden islands. Driven by greed and armed with advanced weaponry, they sought to control the spice trade. Their arrival marked a turbulent chapter in Indonesian history. The Dutch ushered in an era of colonialism, reshaping Indonesia's political and religious landscape. Unlike earlier Muslim traders, the Dutch sought economic dominance, not cultural exchange. Their ambitions were fueled by a desire to monopolize the spice trade. Using divide and conquer tactics, they exploited rivalries to consolidate control. With superior naval power, they established trading posts and forts. Interfering in local politics, they pitted rulers against each other. The powerful Islamic sultanates found themselves entangled in conflicts instigated by the Dutch. The Dutch arrival marked a turning point, shifting the balance of power in Indonesia. Islam in the face of colonialism. Despite Dutch colonialism, Islam thrived in Indonesia, evolving into a unifying force against oppression. The shared faith transcended ethnic and regional differences, providing common ground for resistance. Mosques became focal points for mobilizing opposition, their pulpits resonating with calls for unity. Religious leaders emerged as pivotal figures, reminding followers of Islam's teachings on justice and resistance. They drew parallels with early Muslim struggles, reinterpreting texts through the lens of anti-colonial struggle. Verses offered solace and justification for resistance. The Dutch sought to control religious institutions, appointing puppet leaders and imposing their interpretations. These efforts often backfired, strengthening the resolve of the Indonesian people. Islam became a rallying cry for resistance, offering a moral compass and strength against oppression. Section 3. The resilient spirit, Pesantren as centers of resistance and learning. Amidst Dutch colonialism, Pesantren became sanctuaries for Islamic learning and resistance. Located in rural areas, they preserved culture and forged Islamic identity. Led by Kiai, they provided holistic education beyond religious instruction. Students delved into Islamic jurisprudence, Arabic grammar, and Quranic exegesis. These values shaped future leaders, paving the way to independence. As the 19th century progressed, a profound transformation began within the Indonesian archipelago. A nascent sense of national identity emerged, fueled by Dutch colonialism and the unifying force of Islam. The Dutch, in their efforts to exploit and control, inadvertently sowed the seeds of their own demise. Their policies of cultural suppression and economic exploitation forged a common sense of grievance. Education spread new ideas, leading Indonesians to question Dutch rule. Islamic teachings provided a moral framework for challenging colonialism. The national press played a crucial role in fostering a sense of shared identity. The flame of Indonesian nationalism began to burn brightly. United by faith and a desire for independence, Indonesians rose to reclaim their destiny. The year 1945 marked a watershed moment in Indonesian history, a triumphant culmination of struggle and sacrifice. The Indonesian people, with hearts filled with hope, finally broke free from Dutch colonialism. The proclamation of independence ushered in an era of self-determination, a chance to forge their own destiny after centuries of foreign domination. The path to independence was hard-won through years of resistance and diplomacy. The newly independent nation faced the task of rebuilding from colonialism's ashes, healing the wounds of the past and creating a unified nation, from a diverse tapestry of islands, cultures, and faiths. The adoption of Pancasila as the philosophical foundation of the Indonesian state was a testament to the country's commitment to unity and diversity. The 5 principles enshrined a vision of Indonesia that transcended ethnicity, religion, and ideology. Pancasila acknowledged the importance of faith while upholding religious freedom and tolerance. The first principle, belief in one God, resonated deeply within Indonesian society. Pancasila embraced Islam, Christianity, Hinduism, Buddhism, and other belief systems. This inclusive approach fostered interfaith harmony and cooperation. The remaining principles reinforced a just and equitable society, emphasizing compassion, empathy, and respect for human rights. Pancasila provided a moral compass for the newly independent nation. Islam in Indonesia, shaped by centuries of interaction with local cultures, emerged as a vibrant and dynamic force, deeply embedded in society yet constantly evolving to meet modern challenges. Indonesian Islam encompasses a wide spectrum of interpretations and expressions. Guided by Pancasila, the government upholds religious freedom and promotes interfaith dialogue. This commitment to pluralism allows different faiths to coexist peacefully and engage in constructive dialogue. Indonesia demonstrates that Islam, democracy, and modernity can complement and reinforce each other. What's something people don't know about Indonesia's journey from a collection of spice islands to a unified nation? From the shadow of colonialism to the forefront of the Muslim world, Indonesia stands as a testament to the enduring human spirit and the importance of embracing unity in diversity. Its story is a tapestry woven from threads of ancient traditions and the enduring quest for freedom. Indonesia's success in forging a national identity that embraces its rich diversity while upholding unity offers a compelling model for other nations seeking to navigate the complexities of pluralism. As Indonesia stands at a crossroads of history, it is poised to play an increasingly important role on the global stage. Stay tuned for our next episode where we explore how Indonesia's rich cultural heritage continues to shape its modern identity.